Well, good afternoon, Randy. The important things that I wanted to talk about in the real estate world is first, I want to compare October of this year to November of this year because we just finished November, obviously. So I have those figures. And then I'm also going to compare this November to last year's November, just to kind of give you a varying idea about how things have changed from for the year. So first, let's talk about the difference between October and November. New listings has gone down about 39% from October to November. So things have come to for some, it's come to a screeching slowdown, to say the least. I won't say stop, but it's certainly a slowdown. Pending sales, those are the ones that, of course, have been on the market for a month or two. They are down almost 17% from October, comparing that to November. Closed sales we were down about 7% is all from the time from October to November. The average sale price, and this is the thing that has baffled me, we've kind of held steady, and we've held steady for several months in a row. So that's kind of an interesting dilemma, because you see all the things starting to slide downward as far as interest in hurrying up and getting on the market and hurrying up and buying, and yet the prices have pretty much stayed pretty much normal. The median price in comparison to October to November is indeed down a little bit. So it's still around 300, excuse me, 435,000 ish. So inventory is hardly touched. In other words, it's down only 0.1% from October to November. Now I'll tell you a little bit about the difference between those same months exactly a year ago. So new listings are down almost 22% from a year ago. So last year's October to this year's October, we're down. Those months are down about 22%. Sales are actually up better than it was a year ago. Of course, a lot of people were panicking, remember, a year ago because of the increased interest rates. They were so used to the free money, as I call it, and now things aren't free. And so things came to a screeching halt a year ago. So the closed sales we're up a little bit, 14% from this November to compared to last November. And the average price of the homes, we've gone up about 5% from last November to this November. And the total market time on the market here, it takes us a little longer to sell a house now. It takes us about 9 days longer, but that's nothing to worry about. But that's kind of where things are. So it's not panic time by any stretch of the imagination, but things have slowed down. But of course, around here in Lane County, we start thinking about the winter, and we start thinking about Christmas and all of those kinds of things. I know that I personally have taken two of my listings off the market because they wanted it gone until we start over again in January or February. Or as I tell them, when the dandelions first pop out of the ground, they almost immediately start calling you. By the way, what's interesting to me is January 1st, people make those resolutions, and January 2nd, the phone starts ringing because they're back into they're focusing back on their goals again.